The shadow of World War I. Imagine a world scarred by unimaginable loss. It was 1918, and the guns of World War I had finally fallen silent after 4 brutal years. Over 16 million lives, soldiers and civilians, lay shattered across the battlefields of Europe. The victorious Allies, led by Britain, France, and the United States, gathered in Paris to redraw the map of the world. But their peace was a poison pill. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, crushed Germany under a mountain of guilt, reparations, and territorial losses. Germany lost 13% of its land, its army slashed to a shadow, and billions in gold owed to the victors. Resentment festered like an open wound. This wasn't the end of war. It was the spark for the next. The Great Depression's grip. By 1929, the world economy cracked like fragile glass. The Wall Street crash plunged nations into the Great Depression. Factories ground to a halt, farms withered, and unemployment clawed at 30% in America, worse in Europe. In Germany, hyperinflation turned wheelbarrows of cash into wallpaper. Bread cost billions of marks. Desperation bred despair, an opportunity for the ruthless. People craved strong hands to pull them from the abyss. Enter the extremists, communists promising revolution, fascists vowing iron order. In Italy, Benito Mussolini's black shirts marched on Rome in 1922, seizing power with promises of glory. But it was in Germany where the storm truly brewed. Hitler's ascendancy. Adolf Hitler, a failed artist turned bitter veteran, saw his chance. Charismatic and venomous, he preached a gospel of Aryan supremacy, blaming Jews, communists, and the November criminals for Germany's woes. In 1923, he stormed a Munich beer hall in a failed putsch, landing in prison, but not before dictating Mein Kampf, his blueprint for conquest. Released, he rebuilt the Nazi Party. The Depression was his ladder. By 1932, Nazis held the Reichstag's largest block. On January 30th, 1933, President Hindenburg named him chancellor. Hitler wasted no time. He torched the Reichstag, blamed communists, and seized emergency powers. Democracy died in flames. By 1934, the Night of the Long Knives purged rivals, crowning him Führer for life. The Axis forms. Hitler wasn't alone in his hunger for empire. Across the Alps, Mussolini dreamed of reviving Rome's glory, invading Ethiopia in 1935 despite League of Nations sanctions. Japan, crippled by depression, turned militarist eyes outward, seizing Manchuria in 1931, then igniting war with China in 1937. These aggressors found common cause. In 1936, Germany and Italy forged the Rome-Berlin Axis, a pact of steel and shadow. Japan joined in 1940, but the seeds were sown earlier. Together, they mocked the weak League of Nations, a toothless watchdog born from Versailles, powerless without America's muscle. The road to appeasement. Europe's democracies blinked. Britain and France, haunted by 1914's trenches, pursued appeasement, concessions to buy peace. In 1936, Hitler remilitarized the Rhineland, striding in unopposed. Emboldened, he annexed Austria in 1938's Anschluss, greeted by cheering Viennese with flowers, not bullets. Then came the Sudetenland crisis, Czechoslovakia's German-speaking borderlands. Hitler thundered demands. At Munich in September 1938, Chamberlain, Daladier, Mussolini, and Hitler carved up the nation like a roast, without a check at the table. Chamberlain waved his peace for our time paper, a hollow trophy. It was surrender disguised as statesmanship. Czechoslovakia fell, and Hitler's appetite grew. The Spanish proving ground. While Europe dithered, Spain became a bloody laboratory for total war. In 1936, General Franco's fascists, backed by Hitler and Mussolini, rose against the Republican government, aided by Soviet arms. The skies screamed with firsts. Germany's Luftwaffe tested dive bombers at Guernica, reducing the Basque town to rubble in hours. Picasso's canvas immortalized the horror. Over 500,000 died in 3 years of civil strife. It was a dress rehearsal. Fascists triumphed in 1939, honing the blitzkrieg tactics that would soon engulf the world. The Nazi-Soviet Pact. Hitler's masterstroke came from the East. Ideological foes, Nazi Germany and Stalin's Soviet Union, signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact on August 23, 1939. A non-aggression treaty with a secret protocol carve up Poland between them. Hitler neutralized his two-front nightmare. Stalin bought time to rebuild. The world gasped. Communism and fascism, hand in venomous glove. It was the green light for invasion. Europe held its breath as Wehrmacht divisions massed on Poland's borders. 1.5 million men with tanks and Stukas primed. Invasion and the spark of war. At dawn on September 1st, 1939, the Luftwaffe howled over Poland. Gleiwitz false flag attack blamed on Poles. Then the Blitzkrieg unleashed, lightning war of coordinated air and armor. Warsaw burned under relentless bombing. Britain and France, honor-bound by alliances, issued ultimatums. Hitler ignored them. On September 3rd, Chamberlain's voice cracked over BBC radios. This country is at war with Germany. Bells tolled in London. Air raid drills echoed in Paris. The phony war simmered in the West as Poland bled. Soviets stabbed from the East on September 17th. By October, Poland was partitioned, a corpse divided. World War II had ignited, a global inferno claiming 70 to 85 million souls before its end. Echoes of the unthinkable. World War II didn't erupt from one bullet. It brewed in treaties betrayed, economies broken, and leaders unchallenged. From Versailles' vengeful ink to Poland's invaded fields, hubris paved the road to hell. As we look back, remember, peace is fragile, vigilance eternal. The shadows of 1939 remind us the cost of looking away.